Anthony,
Yo.
welcome to Chad TV. We are on week 7. What's going on, bro?
What's good? What's poppin'?
Nothing much, man. So as usual, wanted to just get right into it. Ask you, what happened of note this week that you could remember?
I had a really good breakthrough mentally this week.
Could you share details about that?
Yeah, I just feel like there were parts of my past that I was cutting off from myself because I was, I guess, in a sense, like embarrassed of like the years of like us making music when it looked really goofy and it looked stupid. And I was just trying to almost in a sense like forget about that version of myself. But the whole reason I'm on the path that I'm on right now is because I was a dude who was making music that wanted to get better at making music and wanted to improve his life. And music was the thing that made me improve all the other areas of my life. So it was wrong for me to try to discredit, who I was. Because everybody that knows me knows like I'm not only a different person as far as like the way I conduct and carry myself to a certain extent, but I look super different too. And so it's little shit, but I'm just like trying to, dial back in and remind myself of who I am.
Ryan, what do you got? You had something.
No, I was going to say sorry for knocking the camera.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Then. So listen, I want to talk to you about that, and I want to get your thoughts on the transformation that you went through personally, because for people who know you and saw it, it was absolutely fucking insane. But there's a back and forth where it's like you don't want to kill off the old version of yourself, but you also had to move on. So like, how do you balance that? And give us some context on it.
I mean, I think I went through a pretty good transformation, but to me it doesn't feel that crazy. But when I ask the people that are around me, like you guys that know the whole time, I think a lot of people think I went through a pretty ridiculous transformation pretty quickly, I guess, in a sense. So yeah, so it's always, I feel like at any point in time, you're always fighting this battle between who you can become, who you're becoming, and who you are right now. It's like it's a battle that's always happening. And it's also weird when you start to think about timelines and if your philosophy on time, what that depends on, because all timelines happen at the same time in a sense. It could get fucking weird when you start to like really like peel it back. What was the question?
Can you tell like if somebody doesn't know you or only knows you, they met you last year, like what actually happened? Like what did you change from and into?
So pretty much, without diving into all the details, unless like, we make another video about that, pretty much when I was a young man from the ages of like 19 through like 23, I went through a really tumultuous period in my life of just hardship, of poverty, physical illness, family problems, dropped out of school, couldn't really figure it out, and was trying to like build this rap shit. And it's funny because we just went through like all the Instagram story archives. We didn't realize you could do that, and I was just like promoting so heavy. So I was going through all that shit, the negative shit, but I was like trying to make music, and I was throwing all these shows, and I had all this merch, and like it looked like shit was kind of popping off because it kind of was for what we were doing. And then pretty much the pandemic happened, and I finally had time to just fucking take a step back and sit in silence because the world stopped. And I got laid off from work at the time. I was a waiter. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, fuck, dude, I don't really like my life. Not that I don't like my life, but I was like, I don't know anything. Like, everything I knew that day to day was just taken away from me. And I wasn't an NPC ever, but I was retarded. My consciousness was there. My conscious awareness was there, but it was very low level. So pretty much I just started to be like, well, shit, I have all this time. I'm here. I had my own apartment at the time. Like literally as soon as COVID started, I moved into my own apartment, my first apartment by myself pretty much. And I just pretty much was like looking at all the different areas of my life, and I was like, yo, I got to change it. So I started spending all this money in like mentorship, stimmy checks going into mentorship, credit cards going into mentorship, and just like fucking built myself up. Like got consciously aware of the food I was eating, I started reading books. I never really read books. I started like working out and going to the gym. I remember I'd be like in my basement, like fucking doing burpees, like being fucking gassed. And I only did like 30 burpees and started, investing in mentorships and just meeting people online from all different walks of life, all different ages, people that were so ahead of me. And that was before I was like exposed to this online world that seems so prevalent now to like dudes like us. Like it's all we fucking talk about. But like back then, like it was all like such a foreign concept. None of us were into business. None of us were into mentorship. None of us were into anything online whatsoever. So like, it was just me just fucking taking these leaps and just walking that path and trusting the universe 2020. And that's when I started, praying and shit like that. And I mean, from 2020 to now, it's like been what, 4.5 years? And I mean, I just continued that path and I got a lot of it dialed in and we're still going. So like, I'm really happy and proud of myself for that version of myself for taking all those risks and chances and steps. And that's kind of what happened this week is I reflected. I like visually looked back at a lot of like pictures of myself and videos and shit that I had going on. And I like unarchived post on Instagram, which it was just symbolic in a sense. It doesn't really mean anything. And I was like, damn, bro, like you're not done, like you should be happy. Like you made it this far. It's fucking awesome, bro. Like look where you came from and it's time to keep going. So I don't know if you guys have any other like specific questions about that transformation, but it's kind of hard to put into words without like, I guess, telling the whole story and diving into every single fucking detail. But pretty much I just was down really fucking bad and I got myself to where I am today. And for whoever knows where I'm at today, I mean, it's a pretty good spot and we're still going. We're not done.
I don't want to like tell the story for you. You put it really well, but
go ahead.
I was there, like kind of watching you. Adam kind of went through a lot of that with you. You were like ahead of life, and Adam, you're older than him. But like to see you guys go through that, especially you, DeLuca, like for me, like I thought it was insane, and like I see you guys like all the time. So like for all the other like random people, like
how would you describe not the transformation itself, but like the process of watching, like. You know what I mean? Like
so you were always like, we were always really close. So like, even before that process and then during that process, we were still close friends. I was like, out of town and we weren't chilling every day, but to see you do it, it like, I always saw like that you would eventually get to that point because you were always working on yourself. I always knew that you guys were doing that. I knew you'd find your way.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I was like, holy fuck. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts. Like,
yeah.
You like sprung out of the ground like a weed,
Me and Adam were retarded, and I think the lesson in this is you don't realize how retarded you are until you get some formal guidance in a sense. So I would recommend everybody to get some sort of formal guidance in a sense if they feel like they can be doing better, because me and Adam were trying things, but we were doing the wrong things. Maybe that we weren't doing the wrong things. I think but it was all part of the plan, but we were definitely fucking idiots for a long time doing a lot of bullshit. But go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate. So I was going to ask you, what would you say to somebody else in need of that? But I think you just answered that by saying get formal guidance.
Get formal guidance and just never give up. And it's just like the version of myself that I had a vision of is the man that's sitting in front of the camera today. This is the version of myself that I saw 3 or 4 years ago. And so I manifested the reality I have now. And so, I'm currently in the process right now of like, I got to live like a year, as this guy. And I'm in the process of, curating my life and my mindset and my awareness to bring me to a higher level, because my life stabilized. It got pretty decent, but I ultimately don't have what I want to have in life. And I know the next tier of where I'm going, like, is some really monumental, stages of success. So that you guys are watching me create it, it would have been awesome to document that process more. And it was documented, but to a certain extent, but now we can give you this every week.
Man, I think that's a fantastic place to really leave off, because I think we need a more formal walkthrough of that transformation. I think that would be actually really beneficial for a lot of people to hear that. So I have some ideas I'm going to talk to you about. But is there anything else about what we have going on now you want to share? Anything coming up this week that you want to get done to pull it back to the present?
Yeah, I feel like, I have more to say right now. I don't know, we kind of opened that loop. You want me to talk about right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do we got? I want to start making a song and putting it out every week. Just kind of been fucking around. We've been making music for a long time. And we've had some wins. Big wins for two fucking kids from fucking Old Forge, Pennsylvania that got into music. We built this studio. Dude, you shot a music video that got on the fader. Like, I always thought that was like, I want to talk about some of this shit. Like, I want to talk about more anecdotes on this stuff. We got Adam on the fader. He shot a music video that got on the fader. So to me, I thought that was like a big fucking deal. And we put out a lot of mixtapes, but like we never really gave it a good shot. And it was just due to a lack of resources and just like belief and creativity and confidence. And I feel like I've just been kind of teeter-tottering around with it for like too long. And it's just, I realized last night that the opportunity that I have in front of me right now, the opportunity that anybody has in front of them right now, it's not going to be here forever. So while the conditions and circumstances might not be great for us to, do things in the way that I would want to do them if everything were ideal, as far as like making music and putting it out, it's honestly like, it's just no longer a good enough excuse to just not make music and put it out, even if I don't think I could give it like the marketing budget and whatever else it needs to actually flourish, because I don't fucking know how it's supposed to actually happen. So what I kind of realized last night is we have this beautiful fucking studio we built. I have, my boy Adam to work with to record. I got creativity. I'm young. I don't have a family. Can't be a rapper forever. I built my life up to this point. Like, it's time to just fucking give it a good shot. So I want to start I'm sitting on fucking hundreds of songs. I'm just going to start fucking putting one out a week, shooting a couple videos, and just fucking letting it fly. So that's how I'm feeling, is really just capturing the opportunity in front of me more so than like waiting for other circumstances to try to come along. So besides that, we've built our marketing agency to the point that we figured out how to get clients, which is good. To me, that's a secondary intention. Not to say that it's not going to get my best foot forward, but to me, like, that's the thing. Business and sales and all that shit is just like a means to an end. It's a means to satisfy my fucking matrix existence, to pay my bills and shit like that. Still want to, go ahead with it, but realizing I'm a rapper that got into business. I'm not an entrepreneur that decided he wanted to be a rapper.
That's a fantastic place to end this. Any final closing thoughts to wrap that up?
God is good. God is good.
All right, bro. Till next week.
All right. Bye.
Peace.